showtime.
Yes, indeed, it is showtime. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We are going to give our final review here on the Celebrity Reflection, and we're going to get right off to it. I'm voting it at a 6.5, 6.5.
I'm going to go about a 7.5, 7.5.
So 6.5 for me, 7.5 for me. If you want to know why, stick around. Let's get to it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. If you are new to the channel, I am your host, Robert, a.k.a. The Tall Man. This is my lovely wife, Lisa, and co-host, a.k.a. Mrs. Tall Man. Not that anyone ever calls her that. We just got off the Celebrity Reflection this morning. We were on there for 6 days, and boy, do we have a fun time.
Yeah, we really did.
And we're going to go over all the different things that happened and talk about the different areas and let you know how it is that we came up with our vote, right? I got it 6.5. She gave it a 7.5. And then you can make the decision on your own if you want to book Celebrity Reflection. All right. So let's just say hello to everybody first. But you know what? Speaking of reflection, faux balcony cam. Everybody remember that shot from last night?
Yay.
Look at that. That's straight from our balcony there last night. Yeah. Hello, Mama Tall Man. Welcome. Good to see you.
They can't see us.
Oh, they can't see us. You know, geez, it's always something. It's always something. Here, we're just going to do that. We're going to do this. And we're going to do that. Oh, I don't know. It's just not working. You know what? Oh, my good God. Are you kidding me? Oh, see, this is what happens. This is just what happens. Okay. Well, you know what? We're going to just go. We're
going to roll with it.
Hey, you know, I'm done with that.
And you know what?
What is this?
It's mutiny.
Oh my good Lord. Oh, this is just so frustrating. There we go. Yay!
Yay!
Oh, see what happens when you let me press the buttons. Everything goes wonky. All right. So we were saying hello to everybody. Bev says, should we or shouldn't we? That is the question. Do tell. We will. Patricia wanted me to toss her some popcorn, and I think she got it. Yeah. Hello, Angela. Welcome. Macrina, on time 2 days in a row. So let's not start something new here. Hello, Allie. How are you? Welcome. Tuesday. Good evening to you, though it is Saturday. Off to work tonight. Tim and I tuning in together. Yeah, I know he was here the other night by himself in your stead.
Yes.
And hello, Carol. So welcome, everybody. Hopefully you all had a great week and ready for a good weekend. Of course, you've already had one day. I know some of you are working, just like you said, Allie, but ultimately it's generally the weekend for everybody. And, of course, here comes Desiree. Hi. All right, so let's get to the ship and tell everybody why we got to the numbers that we got to, shall we?
Let's do it.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Filming Tom and Style.
All right, we start right off with, first impressions, embarkation. Outside of the parking at the terminal, which was Terminal 29, I think embarkation went very, very smooth.
I agree. Yeah, very smoothly.
Yeah, we got there a little bit earlier than our time, but they checked us right in. What's real nice about how they do it is they sort of sit you as you come in, right? So they have an area with just rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of chair, and the first person sits in the first chair, and then they just fill up the rows. And then when the ship is available for boarding, they start with the row of the first people that got there, and go on the ship. Of course, if you're in suites or anything like that, you get to go first, as well as those who are in Zenith or whatever, they get to go first. But after that, they just take as it comes. So
yes,
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
As far as the parking goes, we left from 29, returned to 25. It was crazy, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
And parking was
at 19. So there is no parking at Terminal 29.
No.
There's parking lots there, but they're filled with, I don't know who belongs to those cars.
Yeah.
But they're like filled with cars.
Yes.
I don't know if they were employees or those are cars coming off of ships or something, but there's no parking there at 29. So you have to go back to 19, park, and then take a shuttle back. That was 15, 20-minute process between the driving, waiting for the shuttle, and all that stuff. So
yes, so if you're planning a cruise out of
Fort Lauderdale.
Port Everglades and Fort Lauderdale, you're flying in or flying out, especially if you're flying out, you want to allow a little bit of extra time in case, because it appears that at least on the off days, that the ships are not coming into the terminals that they left out of.
Yeah.
You want to allow a little bit of extra time so that you can take that shuttle and not feel stressed and worried about missing your flight.
Yep. Flight.
Mhm.
Why would people getting on a flight have to worry about shuttles to the parking garage?
If they are leaving, if they're leaving the ship and they have a flight, they have to allow a little extra time for the shuttle to get to. Oh, you're right. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
Never mind. Hang on. I can fix this, everybody. Hang on. There we go. This is the same thing that Royal giving the people a break that are flying in to alleviate traffic. I don't know. Okay, moving on.
You can unmute me now.
Cabins. Okay, so unlike some of the ships that we get on, we didn't get to see as many cabins as we would have liked to, which is just fine. The cabins that we did see for a ship that's 12 to 13-ish years old, I thought were in very good shape.
I agree. Yeah. What I really like about their cabins is for the normal staterooms, your normal interiors, your normal ocean views, your normal balconies, the bathrooms are about this much longer than any of the other bathrooms on any other ship that we've been on. The staterooms also seem to be a little bit longer, so there's a lot more room to move around.
For those who are getting balconies or verandas, those balconies are much bigger than we've seen on other ships.
Yes.
And so all in all, the cabins on this ship are very, very nice.
They are, and they're very well taken care of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're definitely giving thumbs up to the cabin.
Yes.
All right, moving on. The buffet. Now, if you had been tuning in to our live shows that we were broadcasting from the ship, we had mentioned this multiple times. Their buffet was absolutely fantastic.
Without a doubt.
For sure, one of the better buffets at sea.
Yes.
Incredible variety every single day. The food was always warm. The only thing we together did not like were the scrambled eggs. They stopped cooking them probably about 4 minutes too soon.
Well, and the omelets as well. The omelets are flavorless.
The omelets were very good.
They were flavorless.
But there were so many other options.
Exactly.
It was didn't even, next, right?
Yeah.
So, but overall, I mean, great seafood every day. There was like on the lunch buffet, steaks, pork chops, baked potatoes, and of course they had hamburgers and hot dogs and pizza and pasta bar and Indian dishes and Italian dishes and just all kinds of stuff, sandwiches and salads and things. So lots of variety.
I was going to say those were kind of the staples, but yeah, your varieties, your regional food items, they were just incredible.
Fantastic.
Really, really good. Yeah.
So 2 thumbs up on the buffet.
Yes.
Boom. Let's get to the next. Main dining. Now, before we get into the MDR specialty restaurants, we didn't actually eat at any of them. However, we did hear a comment from somebody who had was on a back-to-back. So this was their second of the back-to-back, who ate at a couple of specialty restaurants on the first cruise and didn't have anything nice to say about them. That's their opinion. We didn't eat there at any of them, so we can't give you our opinion. But their thought was it just was not worth the money.
That is exactly what they said.
For the specialty restaurants.
Yes.
So take that with a grain of salt, guys.
Yeah, because we can only report on what we personally did or what we heard other people say, and we don't have the personal experience on that. So it's just,
Now, as far as the main dining room goes, the food there was equally as good as the food on the buffet. The service was great. It was very fast. Interestingly enough, even we had anytime dining, and so you just come down whenever you want between 5:30 and 9:30 or something like that. And we come and we show up at all about the same time. But they sat us in the same section every single time.
Every time.
And we had either one of two tables, depending on when we got there, if somebody got the window first. So we actually had a window seat
3 times.
3 times, and
Yeah.
then we had the other
Right
table next
next
to us.
it, the other 3 times.
And so what's nice about that is even though it's any time we can come and go as we please, they put us in the same section, so our servers got to know our tendencies, right? They knew that we liked, she liked iced tea, and I wanted lemonade every night, and they just brought it. And so there was that.
Yes.
The only thing that I'm sure we haven't talked about it that we both didn't like is with bread and butter, we just like the little butter pats, the salted little butter pats and on the rolls and things like that. They bring you this little tray every night of these 3 whipped concoctions, and every night they're different.
Yes.
And we're like, can't we just get no, they didn't have butter chips in the main dining room. So
we would just bring them down
Yeah.
from the buffet.
yeah, and again, it just was like, no, not a big deal. But they have these every night. They have Parmesan breadsticks, which are amazing. We actually use the breadsticks to dip in the stuff that they brought,
Yes.
and use the butter chips on the rolls.
On the
if that made
rolls,
any sense.
exactly. Yeah. And they had flavors like, red pepper, and they did blue cheese. They did, oh my goodness,
Eggplant,
horseradish,
eggplant one night, avocado one night.
avocado. Yeah. So
Yeah,
a lot of
lot of
variety
variety.
in the flavors. But they bring you this big basket, and if you like butter as much as we do on our bread, you probably will want
Yeah.
extras because there was
Yeah, unlike some of the cruise lines that they come with and drop one roll on your plate, these guys basket.
a basket.
And we usually had a
And-
baguette, a few breadsticks, the Parmesan breadsticks, and then another roll, which was different every night.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So, if you want to see the menus of the food that they were offering, if you go to our Facebook group, there it is right there, Tall Man's Cruise Adventures. Just go to Facebook, search for that. It is a private group. You will have to answer the 2 questions or it will not let you in. It's just going to decline you, okay? But we post all the pictures of the food that we had as well as the menus, okay?
And I will preface it as well that it seems like we had the shadow on our food the whole time, so it does look a little not as appetizing as it normally does. But it was really, really good.
I don't think there was anything we had outside the prime rib I had was a little off, and that I just think the cut that I got was a little undone. Outside of that, everything we had was really good. So,
Yes.
but anyway, all right. So let's move on, shall we?
Yep.
The bars. Let me tell you, for those who watch us all the time, y'all know we don't drink. Okay, so for those who are joining us, we don't drink, so we're not frequenting the bars. However, we're hanging around and we're seeing everything that goes on. And this cruise was different than a lot, I think, and we're going to talk about more of that in a few minutes. But the pool bar outside of port days, that pool bar had a line a mile long every day. It was crazy. All the bars were very well filled. I didn't necessarily hear anybody complain. However, I was shocked at how long the lines were to get a drink.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they were understaffed. I don't know what the deal was, but there was a long line all the time. And so take that with a grain of salt. We weren't standing in the line because we don't drink, but looking at it going, I don't think I'd probably want to stand in that line.
Right.
Right. So I don't know if you can go sit down and a server come to you. I honestly, we weren't bothered one time by a server that was walking around asking if you want drinks.
No.
Doesn't mean they weren't there, but that happens to us on every other cruise we go on.
Yes.
Somebody is always approaching, and they're generally nice about it. Hey, would you like something from the bar? No, thank you. Have a great day. And off they go. That didn't happen one time.
No. But I also will say at the pool deck, they had they would bring out like portable stations, and there were 4 of them around the pool deck. So if you were wanting, a drink
Like a beer.
there, yeah,
Those were mostly the coolers were mostly
they had
filled with beer.
bottles
Do
as
they have
well.
bottles too?
They had bottles
Okay.
as well. So I mean, I never saw lines there.
No.
No.
I guess they
never
were
saw
trying to
lines there.
alleviate some of the pressure.
I would think so
from
from
the
the actual
pool bar.
bar.
Yeah. Okay.
But
There you go.
just at the pool deck, 4 stations every day.
All right. Let's move on.
Okay.
activities. So this ship, though there was 279 children under the age of 18, and again, we're guesstimating somewhere around 1,500 between 18 and 25. This ship is really not a ship designed for younger people. Yes, there's a kids area, but there's no water slides. There's no rock climbing wall. There's one foosball table. There's no regular ping pong table. Of course, the flow riders and the go-karts and the ice skating. And I mean, there's none of that. The activities are really geared for an older crowd. And so even though there was a ton of kids on there, now we didn't hear anybody complaining. I will also say with the 279 kids, they weren't running around rampant.
They were not.
No, very well behaved.
Very well behaved.
Yeah. So, but you just got to know from the activity standpoint, it is just mostly geared for an older crowd, right? We enjoyed the things that we saw. We didn't necessarily participate in anything, but they had the pool Olympics and they did shuffleboard. They had trivia, big, all the normal things that you would come to expect on a cruise, but geared for an older crowd.
But you know what else that I love about Celebrity is the officers come out and they will compete with the passengers. And to me, that is just so fun to watch.
They're in the pool with their uniform on.
Especially the volleyball, because they'll come out with their uniform shirts, all the stripes on there, and their swim trunks. And they get out there and play volleyball with the winning team from, the passengers that had 4 teams whittled down to 1 through competition. I love that they do that. They do game show things. They tell stories. And these guys, from what I've seen, have a great sense of humor. Yeah. A great sense of humor.
I remember the captain on the Celebrity Ascent. He was hysterical, this guy.
He could have been a comedian, this guy. He was hilarious. So I love that they do that. And they also do things a little bit differently. For instance, bingo. They play musical bingo. So when you have your bingo cards, it lists names of songs on there. And so they will play a song and then you're checking off your bingo card by the name of the song. So they do a lot of
interesting twists.
Different twists. They do, street curling and things like that, portable curling and things that I've never seen on any other ships. So I love their activities. I really do. Even though they don't have the rock climbing walls and the water slides, it's a lot of fun.
Well, like I said, it's geared for an older crowd. You and I, we're not 20 anymore, wanting to go down the water slides or whatever. So that doesn't affect us.
No.
Just for those out there, mom and dad and the 2 kids, this might not be the ship for you. I don't know, but it didn't matter for the 279 kids that were on board.
No.
So anyway, all right, moving on. Entertainment. So wow, I got to say, we caught one show about half to 3/4 of it, and that was one of the best shows that we've seen on a cruise ship in a very, 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 very long time.
Yes.
The full band, 3 horns, bass guitar, drums, the whole 9 yards, playing live.
High energy.
Yep. And if there was some kind of track running, it was just for different sound effects and things.
Yes.
The band was playing. Same thing with the singers. The singers were singing. Even all the background vocals. There were no background vocals on the track, if indeed there was a track running. So that just blew me away.
Yeah.
And like she said, the energy of the show was fantastic. It was called Bring On the Funk?
Feel the Funk.
Feel the Funk. Yeah, Feel the Funk.
Yes.
Their second sort of main show, they did 2 others. One was like a Broadway night. It wasn't a show. They were just out there singing Broadway hits. It was okay. Last night, they did something called Broken Strings. Lisa didn't get to see any of it. I stayed for a couple minutes. It didn't necessarily impress me, and some of that could be because I didn't have enough time to sit through the whole thing. But again, they were playing and they were singing, and which I give them plenty of props for that. So this was sort of 100% original.
Yeah.
But from the 7-8 minutes-ish or whatever it was that I saw, it was like, all right. But the first one, amazing.
It was, really, really good. The ambiance entertainment, the duos and the trios and the bands, they all were great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So entertainment definitely gets a thumbs up.
Yes.
All right, so moving on. Well, customer service.
So should I tell my story? when we get on a ship, you guys like to know certain pieces of information. So I have my list. The first question that I always ask customer service is, what is the maximum capacity of this ship? If all berths are taken, followed by how many people are sailing on the ship, how many of those are kids, how many crew are on board. Well, so I started out with, what is the maximum capacity of the ship? And the lady says, well, I'm sure you could find it on Google. So that totally shocked me. I've never gotten that response on any other cruise line, not even Carnival or Royal, or I've never gotten that response. I've never been told to Google it. They've always went and looked. If they were Googling it, they did it. I've never been asked to do that myself.
Pause.
Okay.
One of the reoccurring themes that we talk about when we're on a ship is if you ever want to know the correct information about a subject, there's no better time to find it out than when Lisa and I are on a ship, because we're going to go down to customer service and get you the answer.
Yes.
And the reason is the stuff that you find on Google or the stuff that you'll hear from people on the phone from the cruise lines, 99.9% of the time may not be correct.
Yes.
Because
there's a lot of misinformation out there.
Right. And
Yeah.
so that's why we go down to customer service, people who are on the ship that can tell you the very specifics about the ship you're on.
Yes, we want the correct information. We don't want to be spreading misinformation.
Most of the information that you're out there about berths and that you see capacity are based upon double occupancy.
Mhm.
That's not the question. The question is, what is max
Maximum
capacity? Right? Because on this ship, I forget what the numbers were, but the published numbers are always far less than the maximum capacity.
Yes.
So this is why we were shocked when the response was, well, you can Google it. I'm like, yeah, that's a wrong answer.
Yeah.
So outside of that,
After I started asking her a few more questions, she started becoming a little more responsive, and she did give me some answers, but I didn't go back to the what's the maximum capacity.
yeah, right?
But that was my only experience with customer service.
Yeah. I listened to this one guy for 3 days talk about the same thing, and he had gone down to customer service and got no satisfaction for his complaints. So I don't remember him saying anything specific about what they said in return, but his thing was, when we got to Grand Cayman, we were unable to dock in Georgetown, where we've docked 20 or 30 other times, as many times as we've gone to Grand Caymans. There was the seas were a little bit rough and there's too many swells. And so they decided to go around the back side of the island where there's, well, a dock. You can't dock to it, but there's a gate that opens up and a small little dock and a tent, and the shuttle, the tenders were able to get us off there because the island was buffering the seas on that side of the island. So it was nice. In fact, it was like glossy. It was so calm. And so the problem was, though, you now have to take a cab or a shuttle that costs $6 each way to get to and from downtown.
Per person.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he just couldn't let that $6 go.
Yeah.
Him and his wife, so it's $12 there
Yeah.
and $12 back. And so anyway, the point is, I don't feel with whatever the question is when you go to customer service, if the answer is Google it, I just think that is a poor reaction.
I agree. So I was totally shocked.
Yeah.
Still can't believe that was the response that I got.
Yep. So,
So
customer service kind of brings our numbers down a bit.
it does.
All right,
Yeah.
moving on. The ship. So this ship is, again, 13 years old. It has gone into a recent dry dock in 2023. And overall, the ship looks great.
Yeah.
Very, very well maintained.
Yes.
We didn't see rust.
Not a bit of rust anywhere.
They were always cleaning, not just in port, but even on sea days. Like on our last sea day, they were out like washing the lifeboats, even though we were in motion. They were still out there doing it. So The ship was in great shape.
Yes.
The layout of the ship, I think, was really good.
Yep.
I like the fact that they had the kitchen all the way to the back. So the restaurant, the lower decks of the restaurant weren't cut off from the rest of the ship.
Yes.
If you all don't know what I'm talking about, if you go look at deck plans, usually there's a deck 3 and a deck 4, and in the back of the ship is where the restaurant is. But that's all that's back there because the kitchen is in the middle. So for you to get to that restaurant, you 100% have to use the aft stairs or elevators.
Mm-hmm. Because if you come down in the center and go down to your deck, then you run into the roadblock. You got to turn around and go back, climb up and over and down. Then down.
So I like the fact that they had the kitchen pushed to the back of the ship, which made all the decks continuous, if you will.
Yes.
So we really enjoyed that. Things that I didn't like about the ship. The Wi-Fi was, even though they have Starlink, the Wi-Fi was very intermittent.
Very.
The fact that we were able to get 6 broadcasts off without losing it was just, in my opinion, a sheer miracle, because throughout the day we had trouble staying on the Wi-Fi.
Yes, on their app.
Their app.
Yes.
Right, because the Wi-Fi would cut off.
It would lose signal.
Yeah. So and there seems to be hot spots and cold spots, if you will, on the ship. Like we knew with Lisa, and this is the same thing that goes with Gig Sky, because remember Gig Sky we were using on Lisa's phone, it's working off
on the Wi-Fi
of their system.
Yes.
And so when she was in the cabin,
I had no signal.
Gig Sky would barely work or not work. So, but it worked great at this spot on deck 5 always, right? Or this spot on deck 7, right? So there were areas that seemed to be hotter when it came to Wi-Fi and areas that were not very good. So overall, the Wi-Fi experience was, even though we did get to broadcast every night, I know we didn't see a lot of, oh my God, we're buffering. You know, it's a mother buffer. So I'm assuming we didn't buffer too much. But ultimately, the Wi-Fi, and again, also talking to the rest of the passengers, same complaint from them.
Yes.
Wi-Fi was a little bit
very
off.
inconsistent
So,
on the Wi-Fi.
But outside of that, I can't think of anything else ship-wise that was not necessarily good.
No.
Okay. All right.
I like the ship, to be honest.
All right. Moving on.
Okay.
Last but not least.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Filming Tom and Style.
All right. So that just didn't work out as expected.
Go figure.
Overall ship experience. So to me, this is where in my voting where they lost most of their points, because the food was good. The entertainment was good. Getting on the ship was good. We didn't talk about getting off the ship.
No, we didn't.
We'll talk about that first as I go into overall experience, and I apologize. So we were number 14, right? We had luggage tags, put the luggage out the night before. And like a lot of the cruise lines these days, they're no longer calling numbers over the intercom. They're expecting the app to notify you. And so when we heard them come on the very first time, just to let you know, we've called numbers 1 through 10 already, 1 through 10. And I'm looking at Lisa, they didn't call anything.
I didn't hear.
These are the first words out of y'all's mouth.
Right.
And then she, pay attention to the app. I'm like, okay, so I get the app, I open it up, and I had to go digging pretty deep in the app, but I found where it said we were supposed to, our number 14, our time to leave was 8:10 in the morning.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, well, at least there's that. We don't have to wait for the announcement. The app, it says literally 8:10.
Yes.
Okay, great. So 8:10, it says time for you to go. Great. So we go down. Fortunately, our cabin was very close to the forward stairs, and we're on deck 6, deck 5. Right by those stairs is where you got off. And so we were right off. But you did walk pretty much the length of deck 5 on the outside of the ship till you cleared your card and actually went down the gangway.
Yes.
So first things first, we docked at a different terminal. This is the strangest phenomenon this year.
It is.
We've been on many, many, many cruises, guys. Just post-pandemic, we're into the 30s. or like mid 30s post-pandemic, plus the 20 or 30 cruises we did long before we ever had a channel, right? Never, ever, ever until this year have we ever left from one terminal and returned to another terminal in the same port. In fact, and what's crazy, it's out of the 4 cruises we've taken this year, it's happened 3 times. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. So anyway, so we're figuring that out as we're walking off the ship. We're like, yeah, we're not in the same place we were when we left. So, but ultimately, scan the card, down the gangway, into getting our bags. So now's where it gets a little bit more funky. So they have their bags arranged by numbers, right? I told you we're number 14, and I think they had 1 through 10 in an area, 10 through 20 in an area, 20 through 30 in an area, right? And the 1 through 10 area was open for people to get their bags. And even though they called us, time to go, our area was still roped off. And they were still putting some bags in on the furthest side. It just so happens 14 was right where we were standing. And it just so happened that my bags were like right there. I literally could grab them because I was right there, which is ultimately what I did because they were right there. I didn't have to really stretch. They were right there. So I grabbed them, and this woman from inside the rope came over and started reading me the riot act. I'm like, but they're my bags. But we were called to leave the ship, that you were ready for us. And then some other passengers started giving me lip too, and I bit my tongue because I was just about to lose it. So I'm listening to, we got to count them. Oh, it's a security risk. Oh, the equipment's in the way. I mean, she gave me 14 different excuses. I'm like, my bags are right here. I didn't go in. You know what, ma'am? Is what you're trying to tell me is, do I have to stand here with my bags now and wait? And she goes, yes.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. So I stood there, and 5, 6, 7 minutes, whatever it was. It wasn't too long of a time. They opened up the area, and I just took the bags. And we weren't even in the area. I was in the other area, but we took the bags and left. But
they didn't count the bags before they opened up the area.
All of her excuses, none of it was right. It was just somebody on a power trip, I guess, or something. I don't know. But in the end, it leaves a lasting impression about the getting off the experience, because whether it's the ship or the terminal, it's all really judged as one.
Yeah.
It really is, because these people represent the cruise lines, if you will. And that was just, and again, just whatever. So after we got the bags, it was a bit of a line, but oh my gosh, the line moved so fast. We were out on the curb in minutes after we walked out with the bag.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, the terminal they parked us at this time was close enough to the parking garage that I could walk.
Yeah.
When we left, we told you earlier in this video, we had to take a shuttle, or I had to take a shuttle to get back to the terminal. Here, I could walk. So all of that was smooth. So debarkation was a little rough, but it was okay, right? Outside of this particular person moaning and groaning because I grabbed my bags. Okay, so back to the rest of it, because it does fall into the overall experience, right? Mm-hmm. There was a lot of things to me that added up, that positioned in my brain that I'm only going to give this a 6.5. Okay. One of the things, we changed time twice on the ship, and not once did we hear an announcement about time change. Not from anybody. Normally when you're on a ship and there's going to be a time change, your cabin stewards are telling you, your waiters are telling you, the maitre d' is telling you, your cruise director is coming on and telling you once, if not twice, usually, once the night before and once the morning. Hey guys, don't forget, we changed the clocks. Mm-hmm. That never happened. When it changed the first time, it didn't get put on the app until after it happened.
Correct.
Now,
it was on the printed flyer that we don't look at because we look at the app.
Because now they're even though we're printing this stuff for you, we want you in the app. So we didn't look at the printed stuff.
Correct.
However, it was on the front page.
It was
that time. Okay.
It was. So we overlooked that.
Coming full circle, coming back. Well, we know we lost an hour. We know we're going to have to gain that hour back somewhere. We're like, okay, when is it going to happen? Is it going to happen on the sea day? Is it going to happen the last day? When are the clocks going to change? So again, we're looking at the paper. Nothing on the first page, second page, third page, fourth. It wasn't there. Nothing on the app. And we're like, what is going on? So after it has happened, it shows up in the app. I'm like, I mean, it's already done.
It's already done.
It's already done. And it turns out they buried the time change on the 7th page, the back page of the printed version.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
it
there-
should have been on the front,
Yeah.
I would have thought.
And the announcements.
Yes.
Because this is a big thing.
Yes.
Right? This is how people miss boats and
Yes.
stuff in the cruise ships because clocks are wrong. So
Yes.
that's a really important thing. So that's one. 2, for anyone who's been on cruises before, as we mentioned, they're constantly cleaning them. One of the things that they clean are the balconies. They come out there with a hose and they hose off all the salt and clean the glass and all these things. And every single cruise that we've ever been on in a balcony, somewhere during the cruise, a note is either going to show up on your door or your cabin steward puts it in your cabin that says, just to let you know, tomorrow they're going to be on your balcony cleaning. So make sure you keep your curtains closed and the doors locked.
Yep.
Well, that didn't happen this cruise either.
No.
And all of a sudden there's some strange dude on I happened to be in the cabin. She wasn't. I was editing and I saw this commotion. I look over and there's some dude on the balcony. And we had one of our tripod stands that we use for balcony cam. We just leave it out there because it's not a fire hazard because it's not a cloth, right? It's not going to burn. It's not going to fall over. It's heavy. Anyway, so the dude tries to open the door to our cabin to shove the thing in. And I got up and I was like, I got it. So you have to lower it because the thing's 10 feet tall and you're trying to put it through a 4-foot opening here. Anyway. So we thought that was pretty bad.
That was very invasive.
Right.
Very invasive.
Next. And I understand it's spring break. And I don't know how this could ever change or be fixed or if it's just a thing. But Celebrity as a brand is known for being a premium brand, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, known for, yes, they have a kids area, but they're not necessarily catered for kids, if you will. It's more of an older crowd. I would say not like Holland, but
45, 40s. Yeah.
And if you Google it, what is, the demographics of Celebrity cruises, it'll tell you. Now, we took this cruise during spring
Google
break.
it.
Google it. Google it. That's what I did. Google it. I feel Celebrity is having a identity crisis in who they're trying to cater to. Like even the music they were playing on the ship, like at the pool deck and stuff, there was a lot of and this is not something that I would expect for the more mature crowd. Right. And so again, spring break, 1500-ish, 18s to 25s. Okay, maybe they're adapting their whatever. But what about the rest of the people that were expecting a celebrity experience? In my opinion, this was not a celebrity experience. Well, was it because it was spring break and there was a lot of spring breakers on there? Or is it because they're having an identity crisis? I don't know. I can tell you we were on the Reflection once before, pre-pandemic, before our channel, and we had a very similar experience then too, because it was New Year's Eve. There was 700 and something kids on the ship that night or that cruise. And so we're like, okay, that really isn't a celebrity experience, but okay, New Year's Eve, whatever. Then the next celebrity we went on was the Celebrity Ascent for the inaugural, and inaugurals aren't indicative of what a normal passenger manifest is going to be because it is the first cruise. So you're going to have a lot of the corporate people on there. You're going to have a lot of dignitaries. You're going to have a lot of travel people. You're going to have a lot of the upper tiered people that get deals for these first ships. So it's not exactly a well-rounded mix like a regular cruise. So we don't feel we got the real experience there either. We had a great time. It was fantastic.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
And,
definitely.
and same on this ship. We had a great time.
Yes.
But I was truly let down about the full experience. And that is ultimately, regardless of the food and the entertainment and the rest of it, and I would go back, definitely go back. Absolutely would. But I'm only giving it a 6.5. You?
Again, I'm giving it a 7.5. Yes, those things definitely deterred from the overall experience, without a doubt. being off schedule and wanting to go see things and not realizing that the time has changed. That kind of messes with you a little bit. And like you said, if that had been a port day, that could have potentially caused somebody to
Missed the boat.
miss the ship. Yeah. Um, but at the same time, I love the shows, I love the food, I
Yeah.
love the entertainment. So I guess I would just have to put a little, asterisk on there that, make sure you keep your balcony doors locked at all times. And you definitely check the ship's time more
Keep your
frequently.
curtains closed too.
Yes, yes.
The interesting enough, so when we get back, we told you why we're on board. We put some money down for another cruise. We don't know which cruise we want to take yet, but you get more perks when you
Mhm.
re-up for another cruise while you're on board,
Yes.
which is why we do it.
Yes.
And so, but we've already sat down and like, okay, which ship are we going to do? We haven't decided that, but what we did decide is it's not going to be during spring break. It's not going to be Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving. We're trying to figure out what the real celebrity experience is.
We are, and like you were talking about, this is a premium cruise line.
Yeah.
And so service that is huge when you're talking premium a cruise line. Your experience. I remember the first time we were on the Reflection. You got a glass of champagne when you got on board, and there was none of that for this.
And they were doing it with, not that this matters, but they were doing it with white gloves, right? It
Yes.
was
Yeah.
more of a premium experience.
Yeah. And the whole, like you were talking about with the identity crisis, the disco music going on and things like that. It does seem like they're going through an identity crisis. I know you said that, I think you said that on the Ascent as well.
Yeah.
And
Interestingly enough, during our cruise, I read something, some cruise news, that there was a passenger who booked their 45th birthday on the Silhouette, and there was actually a group cruise going on there. A college spring break group was on that. The whole ship wasn't chartered, but there was a lot, far more than we had.
right.
On the Silhouette, and this guest was just shocked because this was not the experience they were expecting either.
Right.
And so we had or at least I had a very similar experience to that particular woman. Did it ruin my cruise? No, not like it ruined hers. We had a fantastic time.
Yes, we did.
We always have a great time. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Shy of the Carnival Conquest, that sucked. But outside of that, great cruise. And we've had a great time on all the rest of the Carnival cruises. It was just that one ship. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you guys are going to have to make up your mind whether or not the Celebrity Reflection is something you want to go on. The reasons why our scores came down was not about the food.
No.
Was not about the entertainment.
Nope.
Was not about the condition or the look of the ship.
Nope.
It was about the experience of the passengers are on board and the crew on board.
It was not a premium experience.
Correct.
No.
Correct.
It wasn't.
And so, what are you looking for when you book a cruise? If that's what you're looking for, then you might want to think twice.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to book this in January or February on the Reflection, or August, September, you're probably going to have a different experience. I don't know. But we are going to try to book another celebrity ship on one of those times when it is not spring break and not summer vacation. But even for summer vacation, if it's a premium cruise line that's catering to adults, couples, and not necessarily families per se, and the college kids. Now, of course, you're not going to turn somebody away when they want to book.
No.
But this is also where I feel a lot in the industry these days. You know what? Let's finish, and then we'll come back to the subject. So that's it. 6.5 for me, 7.5 for her.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Filming Tom and Style.
Okay, so we concluded that. There we go.
And thank you all for the thumbs up,
Yes,
by the
oh,
way.
yeah.
We really do appreciate it. Thank you. Maybe we should...
So One of the things that has been interesting, it's a reoccurring theme we talk about, like calling the cruise lines, the people that are picking up the phone. A lot of them these days aren't even in this country. They're overseas somewhere. They're reading scripts, which is why it's hard to get a correct answer because they just don't know. They're not trained. Well, interestingly enough, I feel it's the same thing with a lot of travel agents out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are a lot of agents and agencies out there that have been there a long time. They survived COVID. They're still there. And so I'm not speaking about the travel agent industry as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking about a lot of travel agents out there because there's a lot of new agents and they may not know better because I don't feel there's a really great and amazing travel agent training program out there. Now, I mean, the cruise lines, oh, thank you very much for the thumbs up.
Oh, thank you.
The cruise lines are always offering additional training and seminars and different things. The information is out there if you want it,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't necessarily need it because once you know how that booking engine works and how to get the pricing or whatever, that's technically all you need. But what then happens is you're not pre-qualifying your customers.
Correct.
You're not matching them up with the right cruise lines.
Correct.
Right? Like, I think the best example that I could give, if you've got, Bob and Sally in their mid 40s and they're typical, one of the questions we would ask people is, if you're going to go stay in a hotel, what kind of hotel are you going to stay in? That's a great qualifying question because that's going to tell you a lot. So Bob and Sally in their mid 40s, they stay at the Ritz,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or the high-end Marriotts or whatever when they go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to want to put them on a Carnival or Royal Caribbean.
Right.
They're looking for a premium or a luxury, right? Because that's the standards that they're used to with their vacation.
Yes.
And so what I feel is happening, and this could be partially partially celebrity, partially the travel agents that are booking them, they're not qualifying their customers to match them right. So, and I think that could be some of the problem. I don't know. We're going to have to go on another celebrity ship on a time when we know schools are in and see what the experience is like.
Right.
Do we get the premium experience or are they really changing?
Yes, and it's possible they are. I know a lot of things have changed in the cruising industry in general, so it's totally possible.
Yeah, so let's there's a lot of people that jumped in here, so let's say hello to everybody.
Oh my
so,
goodness, we missed a lot of comments here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
There we go. Macrina's like, always a bit of excitement. Those are my buttons. Yeah, no, I don't know what I did. Hello, Gina. How are you? Howdy. What's going on, Mark? Good to see you again.
I gotta wave up here.
Hello, Desiree. We're back in Tall Man Mobile here in Central Florida. we're back home. So, Macrina, Lisa has cruise brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny she did that the last time too.
I did.
The same exact thing.
The same exact thing with the
I'm like,
shuttle.
honey, they flew here. They don't need that shuttle.
The last time we talked about it, my brain went the same place this time. Yes.
Ozone, but it's not Sunday yet. It's still Saturday. But hello for you and wish you a great day.
I think it's Sunday for Ozone.
Is the Mexican captain fasting there? No, he's not. Hello, Charles. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Late, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. My favorite competition has started with the Q&A. That is correct. I don't drink either. No, yeah, and here we go with the over.
I told you.
I know, it's just frustrating.
I was waving hi.
Yeah, I know. Hello over the comments. Usually, let's see if I can fix it. Usually, oh, it went away. We're gonna use Macrina here. Usually, I can see how it's going all the way up.
Yes.
Normally, it just. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to play with this sometime. What's going on there? Anyway. Hello, Macrina. Larger crowds at the bar because of the college crowd. Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I would think so.
100% without a doubt.
I do agree.
Yep. Macrina also says, love when the crew and officers are involved.
Yes.
When they have fun, it improves the guest experience and keeps them fresh for 6+ months at sea.
Yes.
In fact, one of our waiters who had been on the ship since August, this was his last cruise, he's probably almost home.
He probably
well,
is.
no, because he's from the Philippines, so it's a heck of a flight.
Yeah.
He's probably halfway there right now. Macrina, Google it. Oh my God. I know, right? Hello, Valerie. How are you? How would this ship compared to the Ascent? What did you rate the Ascent? We weren't really rating the ships back then when we went on the Ascent, which was really just a year and a half ago.
And it was the inaugural as well, so it is a little bit more challenging to give an accurate rating on there because it's typically corporate people and not the normal sailing crowd. As well as things haven't been tweaked. It's the first time the ship has been out, so maybe the elevators aren't tweaked to operate when the ship is doing this. The temperatures at the on the food warmers are not dialed in, so the food could be too hot and overdone, or it could be cold. So those are typically things. So it's a little bit more challenging to give a rating on the ship. But I will say I love the Ascent.
9.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 9. After all of that, 9. Their theater, really
my
cool
goodness.
theater.
Yes.
Huge LED wall.
The best theater
Yeah.
I have ever seen.
It was amazing.
Land or ship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The shows were great.
Incredible.
I mean, they regardless of the things that Lisa was talking about, which are real things on inaugurals. Fortunately, there was there was like a press event that went out for a couple days. So we didn't go anywhere. We just went out and just circled around for 2 days and then came back.
Robert got to go. I
yeah.
did not.
It really, they had their crap together for the inaugural. Everything was, I felt, tweaked. The buffets were great. Everything was great. Though I agree with Lisa, it's a different kind of crowd on that big first cruise. But I would give it a 9 without a doubt.
I love the Ascent. When you walk into the buffet area on the Ascent, the ceilings are very,
So
very
high.
high, and it just has this feeling of airy openness. You don't feel crowded at all. The food on the Ascent was just as good as we've talked about it being on the Reflection.
Yeah.
Amazing selection.
Yeah.
Really amazing selection.
And of course, it's an Edge class ship, so it has some different amenities and stuff. Like the bar that's on the outside, kind of a thing. And so, but overall, we enjoyed the Ascent. In fact, don't forget we're going on the Celebrity Excel on its inaugural later in the year.
Yes.
Which is their next and last. Wait a minute, didn't they announce we're going to make a 6th one? I don't know, but their next Edge class ship coming out later this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be on that, and we'll get a good taste of at least Celebrity at its highest, even though it's not normal. But it'll help erase this. Again, not that it was bad, it just was not what one would expect out of a premium cruise.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
So yeah, Allie, I would give the Ascent a 9 without a doubt.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
So there you have it.
Thank you.
Okay, so we should have done this before. God, I keep on forgetting. Housekeeping notes.
Oh, yeah.
We're giving a ship away, everybody. We're giving a ship away. Lisa and I are going to be on the inaugural of the MSC World America.
Mm-hmm.
And to celebrate and commemorate that occasion, Lisa and I have commissioned a Lego brick type artist to design a one-of-a-kind 1 to 400 scale replica in Lego type bricks of the MSC World America. And we are going to be giving it away to someone that is watching while we're doing our live broadcast from the MSC World America on April 12th through the 19th. That is when the cruise is. Again, it's less than a month. April 12th through the 19th. I'm not going to tell you which show, but one of those shows, we are going to give it away. Now, you don't have to pre-register. There's nothing to do there. You literally have to be present while we're live. We have a little piece of software we got. It's called Raffly, and Raffly is going to pick one of the people that is in the live studio audience. And so make sure, if you have not subscribed, you do that. Hit the notification bell so you don't forget, because this is a big gift, which, by the way, is not sponsored by anybody. MSC hasn't given us money. Lego Bricks hasn't given us nobody. It's coming out of Robert and Lisa's pocket. Okay. And so we would really love to see you guys all there while we're on the MSC World America. Now, we have another cruise in front of that. I don't want to keep on bypassing that by talking about the World America. But we are doing this huge giveaway.
Yeah.
So make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. Okay. So I'm going to change what we look like to have something up there to remind people, so I don't have to say it all the time, because those who watch us regularly, I'm sure you're sick of me saying it already.
Getting bored with us.
I apologize, but we have new people that come in every day, and we want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to win this amazing giveaway that we're doing.
Yeah.
I wish I could put a value on it, but I know the Lego Titanic replica sells for about $660, and there's probably thousands of those been sold. There's going to be, well, there may be more, but let's just say there's going to be 2. One for me, I'm getting one, and one for the winner. Which, by the way, it's not going to be put together. You're going to have to build it, which is the fun of Legos.
It does come with instructions, though, so you'll be okay.
But yeah, I think it's going to be like 300-ish steps. So the way the instructions are on these type of builds, they give it to you little pieces at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to put these 10 pieces on, and then the next step. And then you're going to put these 10 pieces on. And there's graphics and diagrams to show you where they... Trust me, it's made for a 5-year-old. So, Antonio, it'll be just fine for you. Same thing for you, Danny Mac. Just saying.
Oh, my goodness.
Of course, neither of them are here tonight.
Oh, my goodness.
But for those who are here who know Danny and Antonio, you know
They're
I'm
laughing
right.
at home. They're laughing.
Yes. So again, stay tuned for all of that, and hopefully in the next week or so, we'll be able to share some pictures of what it'll look like completed. So knock on wood.
Yes.
So outside of that, in a week and a half, we're flying to Europe next, guys.
Yeah.
We are getting on the inaugural of the NCL Aqua.
Yes.
So we have that coming up too.
Mm-hmm.
So all kinds of stuff going on. So definitely make sure you hit the subscribe button, thumbs up, please. Maybe it's free to you. It doesn't cost you anything. And you could win a ship just for doing it.
Right.
We're giving it away.
I'm excited about the NCL Aqua. We haven't been on NCL in years.
A long time.
So I'm excited to see all the
Yes.
changes that they've made.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait either.
Yeah.
I was just looking at pictures, of renderings, if you will,
Right.
of the ship and the rooms and this, that, or whatever. I'm like, wow, this just does not look like the celebrity I remember.
The
'Cause
NCL.
NCL, sorry. We're getting off the celebrity now. I got to get that out of my head. Because our last NCL experience was, the ugly epic, which
Yeah.
I don't know who came up with that design, but
It's a big box.
it is a big box
Yeah.
with a split bathroom. But we didn't like. I didn't like the color scheme. I didn't like. There was just nothing much of the NCL epic that I particularly enjoyed.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see what this new ship looks like, because it's also the first of its class. Because it's a Prima Plus.
Gotcha.
So it's a little bit different than the other two that were just a Prima class.
Thank
So,
you.
oh, thank you for the thumbs up. So there you have it. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So no other comments. So
Okay.
y'all are quiet tonight
I know.
because I'm on a roll. That lady not letting me get my suitcases. Oh man. The funny thing was, I was a little bit more miffed with the other passenger sticking her nose in where it did belong than I
But
was.
you know what? I felt like she was expressing her frustrations because I felt like she was being told to wait as well.
Yeah, that's not what I took from the word she was telling me.
Oh, there's a process, was what I heard her say.
Yeah. Yeah, she was essentially telling me to shut the up, is what she was trying to tell me. I'm like, I've got my bags. They're right here. Yes, I know the process, love. We've been on many cruises, and we know the process, and the process told us to come down here and get our bags. So you got your bags. Safe trip home. We really wish you the best. So, oh, snack time.
Oh.
It's snack time.
Oh, okay.
Roll the music.
so true. You drive me crazy like no one else. The final moment before I lose myself. And it's no use working 9 to 5 if you want more than to stay alive. So come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night. Stay up until the morning light, the morning light. Oh, so come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night. Stay up until the morning light, the morning light. Oh, the morning light. Oh, I just wanna be your Superman. Come fly with me, just take my hand. And now that we are cruising in mid-flight, you better watch out for the kryptonite. So come on over, we can make it through, make it through.
All right, everybody. What did you all have for snack time? Leave it in the chat. All right.
Somebody got a piece of popcorn.
I know, man. I nailed the camera.
Right?
I'm surprised there's not like a little buttery stain on there.
There might be.
We may have to clean the camera.
We might need to. It
McCreen
was
is
like that volleyball when I was
I know.
built. Yes.
McCreen is like, maybe YouTube isn't playing friendly with the others tonight. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube does what it does. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
Well, I'm glad it's letting you make comments at least.
I know. Patricia is nibbling on jelly beans tonight.
Ooh, jelly beans. I haven't had jelly beans in years.
Right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
McCreen loves the music. We've got, I see popcorn ship and something, I don't know.
Ooh.
Wondering how much popcorn is on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. 8.5 pieces. Yeah, there's like a small piece that broke off.
Aw.
8.5 pieces. So yeah, 8.5 pieces. So, we're gonna leave something for the roaches.
Ooh. Ooh.
and there's a little piece over there from when you were making it.
Oh, did I drop some?
Yeah, you dropped
I always drop one piece.
I know, it's always one piece.
Yeah.
Valerie said she had mini Niller wafers.
Ooh,
Nice.
yum. Man,
Yeah.
it's making me want some banana pudding now.
Oh, nana pudding. They had nana pudding on there.
Did they? I didn't see it.
They did.
Mm.
They had with the
I had banana
vanilla
cake,
sauce.
which was very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally missed
Nice.
that. They had some great stuff, I can tell you that.
Before I forget to, group cruise.
Group cruise!
Who here watching tonight didn't know we were having a group cruise? 237 days from now. Group cruise.
Yay!
Woohoo! Let's go on a group cruise. All right, here's some info on a group cruise.
Come join us November 8th, 2025.
There'll be meet and greets,
Parties,
pineapples.
ducks, and of course the live shows.
Don't miss our first ever group cruise. We'll see you on the horizon. There you go. So we are going to Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. 8-day cruise, sailing out of Miami, Florida in November this year. It's just 237 days away, guys. If you want to go again, if you didn't get the email, if you didn't get a chance to write it down, there it is, tallmanscruiseadventures@gmail.com. Send me an email. I will forward to you the travel agents information that we are using that put this group together for us. Lisa and I are no longer travel agents. We were years and years and years and years ago. I mean, like a long time ago. Long time ago, far away.
But no more.
No more. We didn't put this together. Like I'm not speaking of everyone out there, but a lot of the cruise channels out there, they're based upon them having agencies.
Mm-hmm.
And they use YouTube to promote their agencies and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not that because we're just not agents. So we just want to hang out with the Tall Man Clan. But we have an agent doing that. You must book into the group to be part of the group functions. So just send us an email there and consider coming along with us because we're going to have a fantastic time. All kinds of fun stuff and that we begin to put together now. and the next thing that we're going to do in the next couple weeks, by the way, which we will put this up in the Facebook group, is for those who are on the group cruise, we're going to post the excursion that we're going to pick to do when we're in Bonaire. So we'll have a group cruise excursion, okay? And it will be in Bonaire.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So, yeah, that's it. I got nothing else.
Okay.
Patricia says 8 3/4. Yeah, right? The little quarter piece over there.
Right.
It's tiny. It's yeah. Group cruise.
Yay.
ABC. Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
There we have it. All right, guys. So we appreciate each and every one of you being with us. We're not going to hang around here, tonight just to belabor the time. If you have questions about or any further questions about the Celebrity Reflection, feel free to email, but most importantly, just post them in the comments of the video. We do answer all the questions, and we'll be glad to do the best that we can to help you out and steer you in the right direction. So, all right. So I guess that's it, Lisa.
Okay.
Are we done?
I guess we're done.
We're done.
Okay.
All right, then. You know the drill, right? We don't have to go home, but we are getting out of here.